All right, Jessica. Hi, Mike Pankow from Windy City Slam. How you doing this morning?
Good, how are you?
I am good. Looking forward to this. Saturday night, you and Nevaeh are facing Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz in the final of the Impact Knockout Tag Team Tournament to crown new champions at Hard to Kill. So this is your second run at Impact, and you've had success with this promotion before. Now you've got some momentum with a longtime friend and tag partner in Nevaeh. And what would winning these titles mean to you?
Winning these titles would mean so much more than anybody could imagine to us. Nevaeh and I have been tagging for a very long time, even before Nevaeh made her debut at Impact Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
We are the most experienced tag team of the women's division at Impact Wrestling, so I do think that definitely helps us with the advantage going into Hard to Kill.
It's kind of funny that you say that because that was kind of my next question to follow up. For those who haven't followed your career before Impact, you've had a long history with Nevaeh, not only as partners, but you guys also have faced each other. You've wrestled before. You've been opponents and you've been partners, companies like Shimmer and other independent promotions. Do you think that chemistry gives you the decided advantage over not only Kiera and Tasha, but everybody else in the division?
Absolutely. As you said before, not only have we tagged, but we've also faced each other. And whether we're wrestling each other or tagging together against someone, we have the chemistry. The chemistry's there. We know each other far better than anyone else does, and I really do think that all around does benefit us.
Other national promotions have recently started pushing women's tag wrestling over the last couple of years, but it was Impact that really put it on the map about a decade or so ago when they introduced the Knockout Tag Team titles. So what is it like being part of a promotion that puts emphasis not only on the singles division in women's wrestling, but the tag division as well?
The thing that I love most about Impact Wrestling is that the women's division has been one of their major focal points this entire time. Ever since this company's been running, the women always get a chance to shine. They make sure, if you notice and you watch the shows, every single girl on our roster has something going on TV. Everybody is, in some type of a feud. Everyone has something going on, and that's one of my favorite things about Impact. They don't focus on just who they feel are their one or two top girls. They're focused on the entire division, and they make sure we all have something to do, and we get great TV time. We get to have actual full wrestling matches, and it feels great to be part of that because honestly, I put our women's division up against any other women's division, and people can disagree, and it's okay to have your own opinion, but my opinion is that we have the best women's division right now, and I would put us up against anyone.
So during the tournament, you and Nevaeh defeated the impressive team of Jordynne Grace and the legendary Jazz during the semifinals. Number one, what did that victory do for your guys' confidence and momentum? And number two, against quite a team like Jordynne, who is just kind of a special breed of athlete, and Jazz, who has done a lot in this business.
So that match, when we won our first round and we, advanced to Jordynne and Jazz, one thing I will say is Jordynne Grace is one of my favorite women to watch wrestle because she doesn't move like a girl. She is a pure athlete. She's balls to the wall, always going in, never disappoints in matches, and she also happens to be one of my favorite people that I've ever shared a ring with because of these things. Jazz, on the other hand, is someone who I have looked up to ever since I was a kid. I grew up watching her, and I got the pleasure of becoming friends with her years ago, to the point where I tell people that Jazz is my wrestling mom. And to be able to finally share a ring with someone who I idolized for so long was so surreal to me. I was a little bit in my head before the match because I'm like, oh my gosh, it's Jazz, and she has done so much for women's wrestling, and she's always been such a badass and so humble, but she's a freaking badass, and I know that I'm Jessicka Havok, but, you know, there's just having someone of her status in the ring with you. And then on top of that, like, we pulled out the win. Honestly, I was on cloud nine. I couldn't think of a better feeling. I feel like the match was awesome, and then us winning made it even better. So there were a lot of emotions in that, going into it and then coming out of it.
Talk a little bit about your relationship with Nevaeh, and I sort of went back to like the middle of last decade in Ohio when you both were kind of breaking into the business. How you guys met, and then how that developed from there?
So, a funny thing, back when I think I'd been in the business a year or so when I first met her, and it was her, Madison Rain, and myself were there weren't many female wrestlers in our area or around really at all, like at least in our location when we all started. And I actually met Nevaeh at a show. It was, I want to say IWA Mid-South. We wrestled each other. And if I'm wrong on that, I can't remember everything. But, like, I know that we first wrestled each other, and we were both really, really green. And I remember having such a good match with her for our experience level, and we just kind of hit it off from there. We didn't truly start to get close, though, until a couple of years after that, when we were on more shows together, when I finally made my Shimmer debut, which was actually at the New Jersey WrestleCon, where I jumped Serena Deeb. Nevaeh and Sassy Stephanie, they both hit the ring right along with me, and, you know, we became this little faction in Shimmer. And then, you know, I think we actually started tagging at Queens of Combat, which was a company that was ran in North Carolina. And we had something there. Like, it worked really well, even though she and I have such different wrestling styles and we don't look identical. Like, I know a lot of tag teams, we still are cohesive and we still make it work, but I feel like our versatile styles only helps us. So, you know, we started really just getting close because we were tagging and stuff, and it was working for us. But we ended up, a lot of wrestling friendships end up being just that. But if I didn't have wrestling in my life tomorrow, she would be one of the few people that I still talk to. She is legitimately my best friend, like in wrestling and in life. So I trust her with anything. So that's kind of like where we kind of started with our stuff.
That's awesome, Jessicka. Outside of your match on Saturday, what other hard-to-kill match are you looking forward to the most?
Honestly, there are so many. But so we could just go down the line. Who wouldn't be excited for the knockouts? I mean, my heart is women's wrestling. That's what I'm passionate about. So I'm looking forward to seeing Deonna Purrazzo and Taya go at it. And I'm looking forward to Rich Swann's match. He's one of mine and Sammy's really good friends, and I'm interested to see what's going to happen with this whole AEW thing going on. So I don't know. I'm excited, but I would have to say Rich Swann. He's one of my favorites to watch wrestle, and I'm looking forward to the Knockouts Championship match as well.
Okay, since I specialize in covering the Chicago wrestling scene, I'd like to ask you about your experiences in Chicago a little bit. We're working Shimmer and Rise, and you're a two-time AAW Women's Champion, and even made a cameo at Warrior Wrestling a couple years ago. And also, you competed in the Call Your Shot Gauntlet Battle Royal at Bound for Glory in 2019, which was just outside of Chicago for Impact. So what do you think about the atmosphere of wrestling in Chicago?
My heart lies with the fans of Chicago, honestly, because if I really think about it, a lot of my best work and my most, I guess, how do I say this? My most established accomplishments were in Chicago. Shimmer, AAW, which AAW, before Impact brought me back in, AAW is my home. And they gave me a lot of really great matches, and Shimmer was awesome. It's the top women's wrestling on the indies. That's where girls go to get the exposure that they need to get to that next level. And then, of course, competing in Bound for Glory, the Call Your Shot Gauntlet, that was honestly one of the funnest moments of my life. Coming out, my music hitting and then coming out, and then just everybody there just going nuts, and then getting to kick some ass in the ring with women and men. It just felt awesome. And I feel like if I didn't have such a history wrestling in Chicago, maybe the fans wouldn't have been, at Bound for Glory. I don't know that they would have been as excited, but man, when I hit that stage, it was like overwhelming. Like I rode that high for hours after that event was even over.
Yeah, that was a fun show to watch. Other than winning the Knockouts tag team titles on Saturday night, what are some of your other long-term goals with Impact Wrestling?
Obviously, I would love for Nevaeh and I to have a really nice long title run. I'm hoping that we can pull off this victory on Saturday. I have no doubts in us. I don't think that Tasha and Kiera at this point can get anything past us in the ring. We've been feuding with them for a better part of this year, and they talk a lot, but at this point, talk is cheap. We're ready for their shenanigans. We're ready for anything they might be trying to pull from their sleeve. We've come up short against them a couple of times, but it's not going to fly now, especially with Knockouts tag titles on the table. But if I'm being honest, I would love to have another Knockouts title run at some point as well, too. So I hope that opportunity could come. We have a lot of amazing women on the roster already, and I'm excited to see anyone else who might make an appearance. If I just love women's wrestling, and I love to create magic in the ring with other women who are so talented and deserving. So I'm looking forward to the ride. I'm grateful and happy to be at Impact Wrestling. So I'm here and I'm ready, and over the next year, I'm going to bust my ass and continue to try to surprise the fans and just try to see what kind of accomplishments I can actually make.
So is there a dream opponent for you, whether it's someone you'd like to wrestle again or someone you've never wrestled before?
Honestly, anytime I share the ring with Rosemary, while she is a real thorn in my side, I love wrestling Rosemary. I love wrestling Jordan Grace. And now that I got Jazz out of the way, I would love to mix it up with Killer Kelly. She is someone that I have been watching since she started. I love everything about her, from her presence to her work. So I would love to get in the ring with her.
Yeah, she's kind of a badass too, and you guys kind of have that mentality. Both of you guys have that mentality of just, get in the ring and just start kicking ass.
Oh yeah, I think we would put on a good one.
Okay, Jessicka, I think that's all I got for you. I really appreciate the time. Thank you for talking to me today.
Thank you for having me. It was awesome. Anytime.
Actually, I do have one more thing I just thought of. I want you to promote your social media and whatever else you need to promote.
Okay. You can follow me on Twitter at Fear Havoc, on Instagram at Havoc Death Machine. I also frequently stream video games live on Twitch at twitch.tv/Jessicka Havok. And I also wanted to throw in there, obviously we know Hard to Kill is coming up this Saturday. It's going to be a huge event. And for any fans that are interested, earlier on in the day during Hard to Kill, there's an opportunity for fans to sign up at impactwrestling.com to join the celebration, where you can directly talk to some of your favorite Impact stars. So I wanted to squeeze that in there in case anybody hasn't heard about it. But I'm excited for everybody to watch Hard to Kill, and I'm excited to see what Impact does from here.
Okay, thank you so much for your time, Jessicka. Pleasure speaking with you today.
Thank you. Pleasure's all mine.
All right, you take care. Good luck.
You too.